What is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video here in the Summer Cup, where I've got a couple of videos coming at you before I head to London tomorrow night. The first one here, Noctowl, Noctowl, Crustle, and Alolan Graveler, a team that has done very well for me. And I encourage you to try it out. I have started seeing more Unova Stunfisk lately, which is very tough for this team. I have been able to beat one or two leads of Unova Stunfisk, but definitely a very tricky lead to overcome. But this team has gotten me into the 3,500 elo range, and I've got another team that got me to the 3,600s, which I'll feature in tomorrow's video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Noctowl is a core breaker lead for this opponent. We led it against the Araquanid, which is a terrific matchup. They swapped in Lickitung, which is still fine for Noctowl, but we do want to preserve that Noctowl in case he has an answer for it in the back, so this way we could still use it against Araquanid. And I'm also not super pressed if I lose switch advantage here, because this Araquanid really has nowhere to go against my team. All three of my Pokemon, Noctowl, gonna do fine against it. So they're gonna hit us with another Bubble Beam. And with Infestation, this Araquanid's actually generating a lot of energy and gets off another Bubble Beam. I'm not quite sure why I shielded there. Didn't seem like a very necessary shield, to be honest. I store the X-Scissor. Maybe I wanted to keep the X-Scissor in case there was something like an Obstagoon in back. I don't know. But this is looking good, and our opponent didn't shield the Rock Blast. I'm not sure why, because now I can almost fast move him down. Two Bone Clubs will threaten to take us out, so I'm debating whether I want to shield. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to get this Volt Switch damage off. These Volt Switches adding up. And at this point, we're just throwing to get rid of that, to get rid of a shield. And we're in a pretty good spot here. Marowak is so low that Noctowl should be able to just wing attack everything down here and come away with the win. Opponent concedes top left, and that is a G to the G. We're on to the next one. Yeah, this team, I've really been enjoying the Summer Cup. Let me know how you guys in the comments have been enjoying Summer Cup. It's been really good to me. I've had a lot of good sets. I've been able to climb all the way to fairly high in the leaderboard, which I'll talk about next video. Crustle. So we had the tough lead, right? Noctowl into Walrein. We swap our Crustle, and they don't swap out, which tells me that they are weak to Rock. They don't have an obvious Rock answer. So they're just staying in here. I'm going to get off my Rock Slide. And here I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure he's dry, so I might be able to smack him down before he gets to another Icicle Spear here, and I am able to smack him down. What's going to come in? It's a Pelipper. So he is super weak to Rock. Super weak to Rock, and at this point, we're just going to let him wing attack us down because we have a Volt Switch user against a Water Flyer. So, and there's an Ariados in back, dude. So, you know, these sets were earlier in the Summer Cup, so he may have... I would be surprised if this trader changed his team after this battle, because there was legitimately no play for him. Triple weak to Rock, going against double Rock. Yeah, that's a GG. I could let this go. I could shield. It doesn't really matter at this point. We still got our fully healthy Noctowl up a shield. And our opponent decides to concede. G to the G. Almost went into Ultra there. How many times do you guys do that when you're GBL and you accidentally, like, almost queue into the wrong league? I used to do that all the time. Still do, as you see. Fortunately, some of the mons, obviously not the eligible ones. Rock Slide, going straight forward against Vig, and they do shield, so a really nice shield call by our opponent. Probably could have baited there. They do allow me to get off this X-Scissor first, which I think is a bit of a mistake by them. And I actually get both shields. I'm like, okay, I got both shields at this point. I'm fine losing this matchup. He does bulldoze me, which takes me out. But one thing is that Alolan Graveler up shields is so dang dangerous. Unless they have like a Swampert. Swampert is pretty tough for this team. But unless they have a Swampert, it's going to be most things up a shield. We get a huge farm down with Noctowl. I was originally going to just swap out instantly, but I figured I could live one Powder Snow, so this way I get off a Sky Attack and I save one for later. I don't want fast moves to take me out, right? So I'm going to respect this Icicle Spear. And what's in back? It's a Marowak. So we can do 3 Volt Switches and Stone Edge at the same time as he would get to a Bone Club. This should one-shot, I would think. Bang! Bye-bye, Marowak. And, dude, Alolan Graveler Sweeper was the MVP for this team, I would say. Alolan Graveler, man, don't sleep on him. He can be a beast. He can be a beast. Noctowl versus Peli. So this is fine for Noctowl, but I do have 2 better answers. So I'm actually going to swap into my Crustle. And not only does this strategy give me a chance to take swap, but it also lures out the counter user, so my Graveler avoids it. So I'm already up a shield. This is going really well for me. I'm debating whether I want to... I do decide to shield, and it ends up being a Body Slam bait, so a really poor shield by me. I'm not going to worry about timing. I just want to get off this Rock Slide right away. And I grab both shields. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I got both shields. I am good with that. Vig's going to get off at least 1 Body Slam against Noctowl. But I know my Graveler up a shield could potentially put in a lot of work here in the back. So I'm feeling pretty confident here. Vig does get to a second Body Slam, which isn't great for me. But Noctowl is bulky enough to survive it, obviously. Swap in Grav. In comes... Oh, God. In comes Victory Bell. Can we get to the Stone Edge? We get to the Stone Edge. And I was debating if I should undercharge this to get more farm. And now this becomes sketchy. Now this becomes sketchy because I don't think I lived the Weather Ball. Ah. Yeah. GG's to this trainer. I needed to go for 2 Sky Attacks. So here was my win condition. My win condition would have been... So if we just go back a tiny bit... Oh, messing it up. If I like stop, pause. So you see when I click the Stone Edge, you see the health on my Graveler. Because of the health that I saw on my Graveler, I figured I could just fully charge and take out the Victory Bell, and that way I would get at least 1 Volt Switch off on the Pelipper, and then that damage would be enough to put it into like Sky Attack or Shadow Ball range. However, a Razor Leaf went through and the damage applied to my Graveler. So my Graveler now only has 1 HP, and I don't get that Volt Switch worth of damage off, which I think may have made all the difference. So the win condition there would have been to undercharge the Stone Edge, farm down with Noctowl to get a few more wing attacks, because I essentially end up losing here on CMP. I have double moves, which would take it out, but Pelipper gets to a move at the same time as my double move, so would have needed like a two extra wing attacks to win that game, but it's all good. Very well played by the opponent. And we are on to the next battle. Jonathan Kelly. Jonathan Kelly, a fellow streamer. Fun guy. Had the pleasure of meeting him in person, and likes to run Double Charm. So immediately when I see his name, I am thinking Double Charm could very well be a possibility. And as soon as I see this Whimsicott, it pretty much confirms that it's Double Charm. I decided to go for 2 X-Scissors here rather than 1 Rock Slide. And I am going to be able to get a shield and put this Whimsicott rather low. I do know Whimsicott has access to Moonblast, I think. So I decide to respect it with a shield. That would do a good chunk of damage. But this gives me a nice little energy lead. I swap into Grav. This is just the Weather Ball for sure, so I know I do not need to shield this. And what is going to come in? It is a Wigglytuff. I do go for a bait here because I know I can get off one of each. I can get a Rock Blast and a Stone Edge off, and he calls it like a savage. So he calls it like a savage. I'm going to get off my Stone Edge now. Take out the Wiggly. And now it comes down to Nock versus K9. We do have more energy than the K9, so I think we're in a pretty good spot. And the K9 isn't going to be able to get to 2 moves, I don't think. So I simply just need to shield this because he's not going to be able to bait me and get to an overheat. So he does successfully bait. I just throw the Sky Attack because I figure it should KO from this range. Noctowl, boom, takes out K9, and we take the victory. GG's to John Kelly. I encourage you to check out his stream. Sometimes him and FP Sticks will do duo streams, and they're a lot of fun together. Nock versus Vig. This is a very neutral matchup. With shields up, Vigoroth can win this if it wants to expend some shields. I believe Noctowl should win the 0 shield just because it can tank 2 body slams, but Vig cannot tank 2 Sky Attacks plus the wing attack damage. So I'm just going to be willing to play this out because I know my backline is a little bit worse against Vig. So I just play this out. I get the shield, so I'm just going to immediately go into Crustle. And this is really bad. Swampert is so bad for my backline. So bad for my backline. And it's important that I saved the Noctowl because that's my only saving grace at this point. Like, I need the Noctowl to somehow clean up the Swampert with the minimal health it has left. Oh god, this is so bad. So bad. I have to shield my low HP Noctowl. Gonna get off a Sky Attack. If I get Mudshot down, this is so over. So yeah, Swampert is certainly a problem for this team. And my opponent makes an amazing play and actually catches this. I do undercharge, so this way I can get a Volt Switch down, and this is going to give me more energy for the Swampert. So that was a heads-up undercharge. I only have to take a Body Slam here. And now if Swampert comes in, I'm pretty sure Graveler wins CMP. So I get this Volt Switch off. Swampert, I'm pretty sure, has 2 Hydros at this point. But I just have to blind throw this Rock Blast. CMP, I win CMP, and now it comes down to whether I can beat whatever's in back. And it's a Wall Rain. And we're 3 off the Stone Edge. Icicle Spear, can we live it? I don't know. We cannot. So we made it pretty close there. Really well played from our opponent. And we fell just short. But it was still a nice heads-up play. That's one of those games I was like, I was almost proud of the undercharge farm down because it still gave me a chance. And now we got House Stark in our next battle. One of the best battlers out there. Whenever you talk about the top battlers in this game, I think you gotta include House Stark in that conversation. We're gonna lure out the Vigoroth, go for an X-Scissor bait. We do get the bait, which is pretty nice. Do I shield this? I do. And once I get into Body Slam, I kept getting baited with Body Slams here, which made me want to like stop shielding eventually. I land the X-Scissor, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go down to shield because this way I can get my Graveler aligned with the Noctowl. So I'm down a shield, but I take switch advantage. And he actually comes in with the Noctowl, which surprises me. I'm going to get off this Rock Slide. I draw the last shield. In comes Credilli. And this is a little scary. This is a little scary. Because he's only 2 Bullet Seeds away from a move now. So I need to try and get to the Sky Attack first. And I do get it off on CMP. And that is essentially my win con. I think Stark might have assumed that Credilli would win CMP over Noctowl, considering how bulky Noctowl is. Oh, crap. I remember this now. Shoot. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, if I get one smackdown, oh no. I'm thinking if I get one smackdown, then I can Volt Switch him down and then simply throw a move at the Noctowl. But check out what happens. I lag. So I come in to try and do one Smackdown. Smackdown's a 3-turn move. Bullet Seed's a 3-turn move. I should get off one Smackdown worth of damage. But my Smackdown doesn't register because I lag. So now I just gave the Credilli a free Bullet Seed. And he gets to this move, which he wouldn't have got to if, yeah. So that really stinks. That really stinks. Oh, man. I think I do win that game if I don't lag there. Let me know what you think in the comments, but it's part of the game. It happens. And GG's. Noctowl, Crustle, and Graveler still going strong. We lead against Obstagoon, so I'm just going to stay in here. Our Graveler wants to avoid this, right? I will probably switch eventually if I feel like he shields and I get farmed down is a chance of happening. Also, it's kind of risky when you CMP tie an Obstagoon because you don't know if they boosted or not. It doesn't look like he boosted. And he actually catches on his Wigglytuff. Very interesting. So I'm debating what I want to do here. I decided to go in Crustle just for some reliable damage. And I'm thinking about just completely smacking this Wiggly down. I'm actually able to come out with double X Scissor. And I'm kind of just spamming double X Scissor, which wasn't the wisest thing to do because I should have recognized Goon, Wigglytuff. It's probably double Charm. But at least I got the shield anyway. And then I come in right away with Graveler while I have this Primarina switch locked. I go up to double Rock Blast because I figure it's probably just about in Rock Blast range at this point. Go for my double Rock Blast. Hopefully this takes it out so I don't have to eat that Charm that went through. It does. And now we've got a double shielded Noctowl against this Goon with energy. So we should be fine. No way Goon's going to get to 3 Night Slashes here before we get to our Sky Attack. It does get to a second. So... and then we wanted to go for the Shadow Ball to have a little bit of fun, but the Wing Attack's KO'd. And you might be wondering, Rise, why shield the first Night Slash when he could have boosted? Well, I was already low to the point where if I don't shield a Night Slash, there's a point I could get countered down, so that's why. Here's against Dunebug, the infamous Dunebug. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of. Really amazing battler. We have a terrible lead against the Shadow Walrein, but we safe swap our Crustle, and our Crustle has a pretty okay matchup here against Trevenant. And the reason I go for my big move there, and actually get to another, that's really nice. And at this point, I'm like, I'm more than 1 HP. I'll actually commit my shield, because if he lets it go, I get my Graveler onto the Walrein, and he does let it go. So I take back Switch, and I give this Walrein minimal farm. It only gets 1 extra Powder Snow. So now I get Graveler onto Walrein. He goes for the catch. This Goon isn't the easiest thing in the world for my Noctowl to deal with, so I do decide to actually expend my Stone Edge there. And this way, Noctowl can just be a sponge to absorb all this energy. And then my Noctowl will... threaten the Walrein with these Sky Attacks, because the Volt Switch damage has put it pretty much into Sky Attack range. And Goon actually gets the boost. So I get off 1 Sky Attack. Grab the shield. Dune is forced to throw. And I actually decide to shield, because I know if I shield and I throw this, my switch timer will be up. And there's no way the Walrein reaches an Earthquake here against Graveler. So nice little win there. Tough lead, but our back line matched up quite well against his. Honestly, it was more so just he didn't have an answer, a strong answer for our Crustle. So Crustle was the real MVP that time. We were saying Grav was the MVP earlier. This time around, Mr. Crustle is stealing the show. The big hermit crab. Next battle against Mark. Terrific lead for us. Tropius doesn't have a whole lot of play against our team unless it's like Razor Leaf against Graveler. So Vigoroth is a little bit tough for our team. We don't have an obvious answer for it. So what I'm going to do here is stay in, throw my Sky Attack, and if he lets it go through, then I'm going to swap into my Crustle. I guess either way, I decide to swap in Crustle. And now that I'm up a shield, and I know I have my Graveler for the Tropius as well, I'm not like overly concerned with switch advantage. I go for the X-Scissor here, which is questionable, right? Because he might live this if he lets it go through, but he does shield. I'm pretty sure I can tank a Bulldoze here, so I decide to let this go, and it's just a Body Slam. I waited to see that he did a counter, and then throw my X-Scissor. What is going to come in? It is the Tropius. It is an Air Slash Tropius. Coming with Knock. And it's his own Graveler in back, so he should be in a fine spot up a shield. Just can't really afford to eat a Stone Edge here, so we are going to respect it. That would do a whole lot of damage. We can barely tank one, but not comfortably. Stone Edge, bang. And our opponent is going to be able to get to a Stone Edge here. Can we live? Can we live the Stone Edge? We can. And we have one of our own, 4 Tropius, ready to go. So it works out perfectly. We live with just enough health. This is a fairly new Graveler I built as well. My old one had pretty terrible IVs. This one has pretty good IVs. Next battle, Berserker. I like the name. Tough lead. So we're going to have to swap into our Crustle here as our safe swap. And once again, they're staying in. A lot of people in this meta don't have a strong answer to Crustle unless they're running like a Swampert. A lot of times Crustle goes pretty much unchecked on these swap situations. They do bait us with Thunder Punch, which is not good. Thunder Punch really wouldn't do that much to us, so a really nice bait from our opponent. That time we're able to correctly shield the Thunderbolt. Wasn't ideal timing there by me, but I do want to get this off before they get to their next move. And I'm actually okay with this if this takes me out, because I've gotten all shields down, and my Graveler could potentially get a huge farm, and they actually swap into a Wall Rain. I don't think that's the play, trainer. I don't think that's the play. Shields down. And we're going to be able to Stone Edge it. Bang! Bye-bye, Wall Rain. And our opponent top lefts. So probably didn't have an answer at that point to the Graveler. K. Donahue, the next opponent. Tough lead once again, but like this team is designed, we've got 2 answers for most of Noctowl's counters. Most, not all. Gonna eat the Discharge. In comes Wall Rain. I am gonna bait it with this X-Scissor. I do get the shield, so that's pretty nice for me. I'm not going to get to a Rock Slide, it appears, so I'm just going to go for another X-Scissor. And our opponent, very nice counting by them. I'm honestly debating if I want to just sack my Knock at this point. I do get baited, which is unfortunate. And look at this little catch. And this is kind of an advanced catch, not to like toot my own horn, right? But I do wait a turn, which is kind of cool. So rather than just throwing tap, swap, I was aware of how much energy at this point in time the Wall Rain had, right? So I knew the Wall Rain was 3 away. So that's 6 turns. Volt Switch is 4 turns. So I do 1 Volt Switch. You see me wait for a Powder Snow, and then I catch on my Noctowl. So a nice little catch there, which basically eliminates me from having to expend another shield there. I'm expecting the Galvantula to come back in, but a Pelipper comes in. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Honestly, I probably should have built up more energy here. This is a bit of a misplay, in my opinion. I should have built up more energy, because our opponent could have then swapped in the Galv. They catch on the Galv, but like, this is fine. Like, I just want to get rid of this Galv anyway. So then they shield, and I'm in a pretty comfortable spot at this point. I'm actually able to get to another Sky Attack. Graveler is still healthy, where it can survive a Weather Ball. And I'm going to be at the Rock Blast, and Graveler's going to win CMP over most things. And Mr. Agrav gets us the win. Knock double rock. With a very strong performance. A very strong showing for a team. Next opponent. This name looks familiar. Like we already played him. Lantern. So I do one wing attack to see whether it's Water Gun or Spark. I didn't want to risk swapping my Crustle into a Water Gun Lantern, you know? But Lantern, a little bit of a core breaker. However, they do swap in Vig, and normally I'm okay just like taking shield advantage here. But I want to try and flip switch here if possible, because I'd love to get my Graveler onto... I'd love to get my Graveler onto the Lantern, if possible. Unfortunately, I'm not going to reach a Rock Slide, so I have to settle for this X-Scissor. So we don't take Switch, but we are going to get Shield Advantage. And once again, Crustle keeps luring out the Vigoroth. And if that's likely going to be their best answer for our Graveler. So we're just hoping Graveler can sweep. You see me getting ready to swap, assuming Lantern's going to come in. I swap, in comes Licky, and this should be okay, I think. Not 100% sure. Because Licky does outbulk us quite a bit, to the point where like Licks and Body Slams are going to add up. But we are up a shield. We are up a shield. Our Noctowl has energy as well. So we basically just need to land a Stone Edge on Lantern and then combo play it with a Shadow Ball. We get the big Stone Edge to land. I have to shield. I feel like not shielding is my lose con. But I call it! Never mind. I spoke too soon. We call the Body Slam. Get off. Oh, and what I actually decided to do here is I didn't want to risk my Noctowl losing CMP to the Lantern, because I knew Lantern had some energy. So what I actually do is swap my Noctowl and bank the move on Graveler. And this way I know my Graveler wins CMP. So the only lose condition here is if I lag. I don't lag, fortunately. And we get off the Stone Edge. G to the G. And I believe that was the final battle of the video. A little bit on the longer side. Closing in on 29 minutes. We end on a 5-0 set there. So let's see what the elo ends up here. Nice little Frillish for the reward. Nice little Frillish. I say that sometimes. I notice my friend Soph says that sometimes. Like, let's just have a nice little Macargo in back. A nice Macargo as opposed to like a mean Macargo. Collect the rare candy, the dust, 34-17. Really climbing the elo here in Summer Cup. It has been treating me well. I hope it has been treating you guys as well as it has for me. And all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. Comment down below. All the comments are appreciated. That said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.